Today, I'm trying the most popular 5-minute paper crafts. I'll be ranking each paper craft out of 5 stars, and at the end, we'll see which paper craft reigns supreme. For this first one, I actually had to search this up just to see what this thing is called. But basically, there are 8 strips of paper that are taped into this ball-like shape, stuck on a stick. Once you spin the stick, it makes the ball kind of bounce up and down. I learned today that it is called a twirligig. Never seen this made before, ever. And can this be completed in 5 minutes? I don't know. Let's give this one a try. We're going to need some white paper, scissors, and paper. I'm using these very classical carnival colors, you know, creepy clowns in the circus kind of colors, and clowns like perish from existence. And then a chopstick. I don't have a skewer stick, which probably been easier to use. This is all I had. First, I'm going to cut 8 strips of this. Psych. I did this beforehand so that you don't have to watch me cut 8 strips of paper in silence. I'm going to arrange it in the way that the 5-minute crafts did it, if my papers are straight enough to do so. I don't think so. Okay, that does not look cute. With this piece of paper, I actually folded it in half because I need 2 circles. Cut those 2 circles out. This is what we have to work with. I'm going to cut a slit on the other side. Okay, so that we have this little cross here. I'm only doing this so that I could just kind of stick it in the chopstick. Oh, you know what? I think I need one more thing. I forgot I even had this glue tape, and I'm going to use this to stick the ends of the strips onto this. I remember when I was in elementary school, I brought glue tape to class. Nobody knew what glue tape was, so everybody was curious to try it, and I let everybody try it. Everything ran out. This is why you don't bring cool stuff to school, guys. Okay, so this is what I have. I'm gonna have to cut these slits again. I don't know if that did anything, but we'll see. Okay, and then with this other circle, I'm going to make the same slits. I'm gonna tape the other ends of the strips to the circle. This is exactly what we wanted. Okay, so all we need to do is... Oh, maybe my stick is a little bit short for the twirligig. Ah, I got a solution. I'll just try to attempt to tape 2 chopsticks together. Based on my experience, I don't like using hot glue, but I think this is strong enough, right? Let me attempt to stick this inside. Okay, this side needs to be secured shut, and since I don't want to use hot glue, I have an alternative. I'm going to use a piece of tape to act as a guard. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. Now I'm going to use another piece of tape. Trim a bit off. And here is our twirligig. I don't even know if the camera's focusing anymore. Is anything even coming out? Yeah, I don't even know at this point. I'm just really impatient with hot glue, that's all. Okay, and I think that's it. Hooray! So here is our twirligig. Eventually, I had to face the music, actually use hot glue for the top. And speaking of hot glue, look at what it did to my hand. We're just gonna give this a little spin on the bottom, and we're gonna see if this thing will bounce up and down. Wait, actually this is kind of cool. Guys, you should actually try this for yourself. I don't know if you could do this in 5 minutes. This took me probably 15 minutes. 5 minutes was because of the waiting time of the hot glue. Would I recommend this? Yeah, just not as a 5-minute craft. You're gonna want to sit down for the next one because this paper hack is... I don't even know what to call it. They take a pen and an eraser, and first they cut a pen-shaped hole into the eraser, and then chopped off a bunch out of the eraser, using the 4 sides writing A, B, C, D, and get this last part. I'm pretty sure you could tell what they're doing with this. They're spinning the eraser to help them guess on a multiple choice exam. Okay, first off, I don't even think this is a 5-minute hack. This is definitely more like a 10-minute hack. And second of all, don't do this. You're better off using that 10 minutes to actually study for an exam than make something that'll help you guess for an exam that isn't even 100% reliable. Highly don't recommend. Alright, this is the epitome of my childhood. Now, as you may know, if you've been following me for a while, I loved origami as a kid, and I still do love it now. This origami frog was the way I was able to pass time. This origami frog could entertain me for hours, especially if you have friends with you. Especially if you make multiple frogs and then you have friends with you, you can race. I really want to try this out, so let's get on to making it. To make origami frogs, we'll need scissors and square paper. Well, actually, we don't need the whole paper, we just need half. Now with the half square paper, I'm first folding 2 diagonals and 1 straight horizontal fold on each side until we get this diamond-like shape. With the flapping corners, I'm using them to make the 4 legs of the frog by folding each corner onto its own flap, and then shaping the frog's body using the paper
behind the legs. Did that make sense? Sorry if it didn't. I'm trying to explain what I'm doing without making this a tutorial that will absolutely 100% bore you. But the last thing to do is to fold the spring mechanism so that the frog can actually jump when you press on it. Remember how I said earlier that we only needed a half piece of paper for one frog? With a full sheet of square paper, we can actually make 2 origami frogs. Incredible bang for your buck. But now it's time for the ultimate race to begin. Racer number 1, we have Blue 1. And racer number 2, Blue 1.1. Sorry, I know these names are horrible. Today, we're going to see who can cross the finish line first. Ooh. Yeah, turns out that with just one leap, both frogs were near the tip of the finish line. I made this too easy for them. I wanted to see what would happen if I flung 2 frogs at the same time, and both of them fell off my table. But this 5-minute craft for sure can keep you entertained for hours, and I highly recommend.
Take a look at this one. So basically this is a blooming flower. They cut out a flower piece of paper, and then after that they drop the flower into a bowl of water. Magically, the petals will just unfold itself and reveal the flower. I have a theory as to why this thing may work, but I won't tell you until after I try it. So let's go on to making this blooming flower. So the first part of this blooming flower, we're going to need a piece of white paper, a black marker, and some scissors. I believe the video printed out a paper flower and cut it out, but I'm too lazy to do that. And my printer's broken, so I just need to work with what I have. I'm going to draw a 5-petal flower. Draw the center. Now I'm just going to draw the petals. Drawing these lines going from the center of the flower to the petals. I think I'm just gonna go simple with the pink and yellow. The reason why I'm using colored pencils is because if I use marker, it might stain the bowl that I'm using to put this flower in. Okay, so here's our flower. I'm going to cut this thing out. I'm gonna cut as close to the edge as possible, but I'm too lazy to actually cut at the edge. Fold the edges in. This is our paper flower unbloomed. Now I'm going to get my bowl and my water, and I'll be right back. Alright, hey guys, I am back. And here is my bowl of water. This actually took me a long time to do because I had to get the camera angle right so that you could see what's going on inside the water. Inside the bowl. So I have my unbloomed paper flower here. We're just going to drop it in here in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's 1. Oh, something's happening. That second petal is coming up, and then I believe this third one's gonna go down. Okay, this is taking too long. We know that that's probably going to be the result. Maybe if I just let the center of the flower touch the water first and not the petals, every petal would have bloomed. I'm almost confident that I know how this works. There's this thing called capillary action, right? And what that does is that the water uptakes through the fibers of the paper. Where the water first touches the paper, water eventually travels through the rest of the paper, allowing the flower to bloom. It was kind of unfortunate that I didn't drop paper in the right place. Dang it! Oh, I wanted this to work on camera. Oh well. Grab your drink because this next one is a full-on drama. Okay, so first this girl decides to play a prank on his friend. That'll be important later. She stretches a piece of duct tape onto the table and the leg of a chair and hope that her friend would trip over it. She goes to hide. Insert her friend. Cluelessly walking forward with his glasses, purposefully trips over the duct tape. Coincidentally, someone steps on his lenses and oh, I should have saw that coming. Of course they'd do something like that. But then the weirdest thing is that they turned this into a hack by making paper glasses to replace her old friend's broken glasses. She gives it to her friend, and then her friend is like, wow, I can see now. Meanwhile, her. Say all you want about 5-minute crafts, but sometimes their skits and the way they present their hacks are very creative. I'll give them that. So this next 5-minute craft is a phone stand made out of paper. I'm kind of like 50-50 on this. This could be completed in 5 minutes. I guess it depends on how heavy your phone is. If you have like an OtterBox phone case, maybe this might not work because it's so bulky. But I don't have an OtterBox, so I'm just gonna give this one a try.
To get started, I'm taking the blue construction paper I used for that twirly-gig thing. We only need to do 5 folds, and we'll tackle the first 2 by folding along the diagonals. Keeping one diagonal fold, I'm folding up, opening it up to form a prism shape, and finally folding one side up just a tad to help the phone stay up. So here's my paper phone holder. I have my old phone that unfortunately does not function anymore, but will this papercraft hold this heavy phone? And lo and behold, it does. Video was not kidding around because I could slide this thing around and the phone would not even budge. And this took me less than a minute. Initially, I had my doubts, but this clearly showed that if used in the right way, paper can actually be very durable.
Take a look at these paper rockets here. They fold this origami paper rocket. There's a little gap on the inside where you can insert a straw, blow into it to release the rocket upwards. Now this one I'm a little bit skeptical because I don't know how heavy the rocket will be, so there is a chance that the air may not be strong enough to push it upwards, but because I've never done anything like this before, will I be able to complete this in 5 minutes? I'm excited to try this one out. First things first, we're going to need a square piece of paper. Now I guess this wouldn't be a 5-minute craft if you were new to origami. I'm familiar with origami. This should be relatively easy for me. Now first we're going to fold what I call is a watermelon base. I'm going to fold both diagonals, flip this over, fold the rectangles, pop this middle, collapse it to a watermelon. Just gonna fold these towards the center and then fold these tips towards the middle. Fold these tips along this line, and then I'm just gonna do the same thing for the back side. And here is what I have so far. The last step is to open up the middle. I'm going to take these flaps and these flaps shut so that it's easier for me to open this up. I have my 2 pieces of tape, attach it here so that I can open this up easily. Here is my rocket. I'm back. I have my bendy straw right here. Did anybody else do this when they were younger? Do you still do it today? Stretch this out and bend this 90 degrees. I'm just going to prop it right here. Now I'm going to take my rocket, dab in the center. Actually holding my camera right now, so we're going to see if this rocket can launch in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, wait, that's actually so cool. Wait, can I try it again? Oh my god, that's so cool. Now, I'm pretty sure you absolutely need a bendy straw for this, but if you have one, and if you have a square sheet of paper, this is honestly so much fun. As for if you can do this in 5 minutes, I definitely think you could. Even if you're a beginner at origami, this won't take you long at all.
So here are all of the 5-minute paper crafts I made today. I judged every paper craft on 3 questions. Is it creative? Can it be made within 5 minutes? How much value and entertainment does this paper craft provide? And after much careful deliberation, the best 5-minute paper craft is the twirligig. Yes, I know, I did say that the twirligig took me over 5 minutes, but if I had prepared everything I needed beforehand, including warming up the hot glue gun first, 5 minutes would have been possible. And amongst all of the paper crafts I tried today, this had the strongest shock and entertainment factor.
That was a lot of 5-minute paper crafts today. Overall, I'm pleasantly surprised that most of these actually turned out pretty well. I might actually do this for myself just for fun in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know if you would like to see more content like this, and I'll see you guys later. Meepyblues out.